I'm looking at Facebook.
Broadcast is live.
Yes, we are live. Well, welcome to Live in the Nest. So, the Nest and Nest Summits is all about helping entrepreneurs spread their wings and learn to soar. And Adrian, Heather, and I are super excited to be meeting with people today and in the future, because this is just the first of many lives that we'll be hosting. And Adrian just took it down a notch there.
I'm like up above you guys. I can't take it.
So, do you guys want to just introduce yourselves?
Sure. Adrian, you go. You're in the middle.
Okay.
You're next in line.
There's Malcolm in the middle, and then there's Adrian in the middle.
So my name is Adrienne Mitford. I live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where we got about 8 inches of snow yesterday. So made my snow angels yesterday, and I've been here working today. So I'm a physical therapist. I do some part-time work as a PT. And then this year, I really dove into finding my purpose and creating my own business and really helping women entrepreneurs overcome their struggles with technology to advance their ideas and get their ideas out in the world.
Perfect.
Nice.
Heather.
I am Heather Johnston. I am here in Portland, Oregon. And I had over a decade-long career in local government, doing project management and technology. So I led a support desk, those help desks that you love to call and ask your questions. I led that for about 8 years. And last summer, 2019, I took off from that career to kind of go after and figure out what my why was. And what I love to do is similar to Adrian, but I take my technology knowledge, my ease with change, and I specifically love to help women over 40, so kind of Gen X baby boomers, take that idea they have and move it to what it could become, whether it's a passion project, whether it's a new career, move, whether it's changing your health, whatever that is, but really upping your game and going from dream to a reality of that's your thing. That's what you do.
And that's with Heather Johnson. And I'm Kris Harley-Jesson. My background, I have an exercise physiology degree, but I've worked in sales and marketing in technology and also orthopedics all my life. And I just wanted to explore more my creative side. I used to be a synchronized swimmer and I got to create and choreograph all the time. And I think I was missing that. And so now I'm doing graphic design. I love doing ideas, strategizing. So what I love to do with entrepreneurs is chat about I can peel back the layers of the onion and find out what you're really excited about and maybe what your natural inclinations, your core values are, and then help you in devising brand logos, that kind of stuff. It's loads of fun. And the three of us together, I think really we push each other to learn more, to see what's the latest and the greatest. It's really fun because we bring it all together. And I think we make it so much better than it could be as individuals. So I love working with you too. So I'm so glad we're together in the nest.
Yay.
Yeah.
Definitely a highlight of our 2020 was getting to meet you guys and really start to form and build what this will end up being.
Absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. And yeah, I can't imagine what 2021 is going to bring all of us and everyone that decides to come and join us in the nest. So today we're going to talk a little bit about, what we did right and what we wish we knew then when starting our businesses. So who wants to take the first crack at that? Let's talk about what we did. Well, you know what? Let's talk about how did you decide what your thing was? Adrian, do you want to go into that one?
Sure. So similar to how I became a physical therapist, one day in high school, you really have to answer the question, or at the time I thought I really had to answer the question, what do you want to do when you grow up? I don't know that I've still totally figured that out yet, but and I had physical therapy done on my feet and you had to pick something. And I thought that sounded like a good career. So I went into physical therapy school and became a PT. my career has kind of taken anything but a linear path in terms of I got out of physical therapy, I worked in politics for a while, I worked for a nonprofit for a while, always keeping my PT license current that if I needed to go back to that or wanted to go back to that, I could. So, like I mentioned at the beginning, I do work part-time now as a physical therapist, but I think the overarching theme in anything that I've done is helping others. And so I just have a heart for that, being of service to other people. And whether it's been the political candidates I've worked with, or the nonprofit that I worked with, or as a physical therapist, that's kind of that overarching theme in my life. So I this year started out taking a 12-week program that where the three of us met, and in that program was helping others with their technology issues. And I went into that program not necessarily knowing what my thing was or what it could be. And I forget exactly what week it was when we had to pick our thing. And I thought, well, the worst thing I could do is not pick a thing and let 12 weeks go by and not have a thing. So just like I couldn't go to college and not have a degree, I felt at the time, or not have a path. And so I thought, well, I help people overcome their struggles with technology. It's working for me here in this course, so let me pursue that. And then throughout the year, that's what I've been building and growing and look to do with the nest as well.
That's perfect. And I think that's something that we all have in common is that we like to serve others. That seems to be the common thread for all of us as well. Okay, Heather, do you want to tell us a little bit how you chose yours?
Sure. So I, as we've already said, kind of met in the same program, but my kind of dream project or the creative pivot is the name of my company. It started because I was just burnt out. I was completely burnt out. And when I would talk to other women, many of us kind of over 40 at a different place in our lives, um, many of them were like, oh, yes, you should do it. You should do it. Oh, I would love to do that. Come on. Yes, go out on your own, do it. And when I did it, I started getting messages from people going, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. I have to wait till my kids get out of college. I have to wait till I've done paying off this house. I like it was always these buts. And what I had learned from just kind of jumping in and doing it is that you have to plan, but there were so many women that needed someone to kind of lead them through that process, to get them from a place of the buts to the ands, changing from the but to the and especially midlife women, I think you're at a point in your career or your life where you're like, well, I just have to wait till I retire now and then I can do whatever I want. And 2020, we all know from hindsight, has been taught like, if not now, when? Because we don't know what that next day is bringing us. And so that why that was so strong kind of in me has really led to me, really being passionate about working with women over 40, helping them lead. And the how, that's been figuring itself out as I go. But I think like all of us here, I'm not scared of change. I'm not scared of technology. I jump in and figure it out. And I found that that's one of those skills. And I think both Adrian and Kris do this as well, is they help people get over that part by just for them. So yeah, that's mine.
That's perfect. And it's interesting. I think a lot of people put that how first and dismiss the why and the purpose. And that's why I had popped up there about Mary Kay Ash. And this kind of comes together a little bit with how I discovered what my thing was, because I dove into it. We were advised, get messy, just get in there and dive into it. But we missed a lot of steps. The discovering your why and your purpose, that's critical. Discovering your core values and what your natural inclinations are. We all have skills. So we come to the table with all these skills and experiences, but then we also have these natural core values. What we need to do is bring them together in something that we really enjoy that fills a need. There has to be a need out there. It's not going to be successful. It's not going to take off. So if we look at Mary Kay Ash, I love her story because for me, it built the picture of what why and purpose are, and then how the how comes in behind it. And so her why is because she was amazingly successful. She went and worked for the Stanley Home Products and was their number one salesperson. She was just knocking it out of the parks. She was so good that the world of gifts approached her and brought her onto their team. And again, knocking it out of the park, number one salesperson, year after year after year. So that every new person that came into the business, she was doing the training. But after almost just, I guess, a little bit more than a decade at World of Gifts or World Gifts, um, another male, and this had been happening constantly, and nothing against guys, but it was a man's world back then. This is 1963. And another male that she trained was given a promotion over her and significantly more money. So that was her why. It was that painful event of being passed over for promotions when she's the one with the skill set. They kept saying, "Oh, you're such a woman when you do that." But obviously that was working for her, being a woman. So she went on and started her own cosmetic company. Her purpose then was to give other people, men and women, the opportunity to follow and create their own destiny. And that's what I love. So that's like, I think when I look back, I wish I had done that first because I started with a podcast. I dove right in because I knew I always wanted to be a broadcaster. I applied several times. I applied to broadcasting school when I was younger. It's something that I think I really would have enjoyed. But you know what? It's not 100% what I'm loving. I love aspects of it, but it's not 100%. And it's not bringing in my experiences and my natural inclinations as much as I'd like it to. So moving forward, I always look at what my core values are and make sure that every decision I make is in alignment with them and my hows fall in place with that. So that kind of brings me to what would you do differently? So, Adrian, do you want to share with us what you might have done differently or what you might advise a new entrepreneur?
So I think the biggest thing is not being afraid to fail. So putting yourself out there, taking steps without knowing the outcome, but just being comfortable in taking the steps. And I really missed a few months out of the year just due to some excuses. I started out, I'm going to teach this course. I was teaching people how to build an email list, and I got sidetracked because of a new piece of technology that I found out about that was supposed to come out in a month that I think that was maybe like October, and now here it is December and it's still not quite ready. And I thought, instead of figuring it out to do it a different way, I thought, well, I'll just wait for that software. And I think as a result of that, I went back into that comfort zone of, well, now I'm not teaching the class, I'm not having to put myself out there, I'm not having to do the thing. So I love, like, this is nice. But then when you look at, the income level, well, you're not serving others, you're not helping people, you're not going to be able to sustain a business either. So recently I revamped that, and I'm doing it anyway without the new bells and whistles of the software that hopefully will be ready soon. But I think that the biggest takeaway is not to sit back and be comfortable, but to continue to stretch yourself and take risks and keep doing the thing, even when it doesn't feel, I don't want to say when it doesn't feel right, because you want it to feel right, but even when you don't have all of the answers of how it's going to turn out. So keep taking steps forward and just being totally transparent. I missed a couple months out of 2020 because I did sit back and allow kind of those excuses to creep up. So I am back in 100% gung ho, not waiting on the software, but I found a workaround for that, and would just encourage any entrepreneur to create their path, kind of have their map of what they need to do to reach their goals, and just keep going forward. And if it means falling forward, then fall and pick yourself back up and stand up and, move again.
Exactly. I think that's great advice. I see we've got some people following us and I haven't even acknowledged them. So my apologies. Ching, Vanessa, Cindy, welcome. Love to see you guys here. If there's any questions that pop up while we are going, please type them out here in the chat. We want this, ultimately, we want to grow this to be a Q&A. So whether we're doing technology or how to build your audience or how to build a funnel or landing page, sales page, etc., this is going to be your place to ask your questions and hopefully get your answers. Okay, Heather, can you tell us what you've been doing right that you're really happy with?
I think what I'm really happy with, and this is something I didn't do to start off with, so I'll kind of cover those two things. What I didn't do to start off with is I tried to do it all on my own. And I tried to just, because that's how I've been successful before, right? Taking everything on. And as I was healing myself from burnout, that was a big, like, no, you're not in this alone. There are so many other people. If you don't share your story, other people won't be inspired. Other people don't know how to move forward. And collaboration as a new entrepreneur, which I think why, um, we're all in Nest and why we want everybody to kind of be a part of it is so helpful to have a group of people that you can bounce ideas off of, that you can say, okay, I want to create a mailing list. I have no clue what to do. And Adrian's like, hey, over here, I can help you, or I want to do a podcast and I don't know where to start. And then, Kris has been helpful in that for me. I think if it wasn't for Kris, I wouldn't have started my own podcast this summer. And so all of those things are what I'm so glad I did. Like staying on your own, you just aren't able to move forward as much as if you have a team of cheerleaders and you're kind of just moving forward with them. And you're like saying, we're not, like, everybody's coming along for this ride. It is not just me. And I think that's what, the number one thing that I'm so glad that I did. And that's coming from a very introverted personality here. I'm not exactly, like, hey, let's get a group of people together. But for moving a business, it's essential.
Yeah, you absolutely don't seem to be an introvert from, my point of view, because I think you've come out of your shell in doing this. So we've got a fabulous question here from Cindy. So how do you balance offer action with social engagement on tech? Ooh, that's a tricky question. Who wants to take a stab at that one first? Adrian?
I think if I'm understanding the question right, you don't want to become too, I'm only on social media to sell my thing. You want to be authentically you and share about you. And there's more than just whatever you're selling. You're more than that. So you want to share things about you and then not be afraid to that. Just like I'm a runner, I go hike and I go make snow angels. I put that on Facebook yesterday, but I also am a business owner and working to build my business. So when I pitch my next course or I do my next offer, it's no worse or no different than posting about being a snow angel. It's what I do, so it's what I'm sharing. Somebody gave me great advice yesterday. Again, going back to kind of taking a few months of where'd they go in 2020. I created a Facebook group and I hadn't been posting in it because it started as one group. I was morphing it into a kind of a different angle and I wasn't sure exactly what to post. And so I didn't post anything. And I thought it had been since September. And when I look back, it had been since July. So it had been a good long time since I had posted in my group. And the advice was, your Facebook group, if you have one, it's your party. So you get to control what happens at your party. So if you want to post about more than one topic, if you want to post about health and wellness and business, then that's what you're posting in about your business and in your group. So you have the control. And I think that's the same, whether it's in your Facebook group or on any social media channel. It's your thing. So you be you, and those who want to follow you will follow you. And don't be afraid at the people who leave your group. And this coach said to me, one of your number one metrics should be how many people leave your group, not join, but leave, because you only want the people at your party that you want to have at your party and that are really interested in what it is that you're doing. Otherwise, it's just a number that's not really somebody that you're helping or serving or is ever really going to want to truly be at the party. And nobody wants to be at a party that they don't want to be at. So
Just filling space, aren't they?
right. So I think the best way is to just be authentically you, and those who are attracted to that will come and find you and engage with whatever your content is, as when you consistently post it and you don't wait from July until December. I don't recommend that for anybody. But you can then grow and build a community of people who want to be a part of it and not be afraid of, oh my gosh, I had this membership and 3 people just left, or 5 people just unsubscribed from my email. Okay, like, you can't be like, oh shoot, what should I write next because 5 people unsubscribe. Just be you, and the people that are attracted to that will come into your life.
Absolutely. And in case the question, Cindy, is about balancing your time with your offer and then the action and social engagement, then take advantage of either hire out your social engagement. You can do various things with that. You could have someone just create your posts and you could do the copy. You could have someone help you with your copy, but also you could use something like Sprout Social or Later or Smart Queue. That's a new one I'm looking at actually recently. Smart Queue looks quite interesting. And, work smarter in that way so that you can balance your time out to being more actionable in your business. Yeah. Heather, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would say that try to balance your asks with offers of information. You know, give them lessons that follow, like a really good freebie of here's how you do something, along with then the call to action that might be an ask that doesn't seem obvious, you know. And then the other thing is that what I feel, and I've heard this from a lot of people that have really kind of built their following and totally agree, like, do not worry about the number of followers. Think about the community that you have. So there's magic in the behind the scenes. There's magic in the DMs or the PMs, depending on if you're on Facebook or Instagram or whichever one. That's where you are going to have really good conversation with people, and you are going to connect with people that way. And it might be you reaching out to those people that aren't following you, but that you really admire. You would love to work with them, but not have it like out of the gate saying, "Hi, I'm Cindy. I run this nonprofit. Will you do this for us?" Like, that's not, and I don't think Cindy does that. But, it's hi, I'm Cindy. I do this. I really love what you're doing. Could you give me some suggestions on what I can do? Like, ask them for their authority, their expertise to pull in, and then it becomes a relationship. Then you're, as someone called them, biz besties online, and you are friends and you want to support each other if you're friends. So that's kind of the one thing that I've really learned is to make connections and not just ask, but give as much as you can at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, Adrian?
No, I think Heather hit it. Like, it's providing the value to serve your community, because that's really what we're about. At the end of the day, we want to, like, community is key, right? So it's there right there on the screen in front of us. So we want to build and grow that community. And so it's providing value to that community, but recognizing that it doesn't have to feel dirty or slimy or anything to then make an offer that you'll give this for free, you're going to provide this value, but then we all have to pay our bills. There's going to be some payment involved. And so for X dollars, you get this, and for Y dollars, you get that. And you can kind of structure whatever that is and whatever those offers are to fit your business. But I think that, yeah, it's providing that service, being of service and providing that value to your community as you're building and growing it.
Yeah. And, we all have this sphere of brilliance. Some people call it a zone of genius, but, dial into that because there's something that comes so simple to you that other people think, oh, I wish I understood how to do that. There's a need, then you can help them with that.
Right.
So we've got a really neat question. I'll only leave it up a little bit because we all get lost. If you haven't posted anything in your group for a long time, would you close the group to create a new one or apologize and start posting again in your current group and take it from there?
So first of all, I don't think you need to apologize for having your party. It's your party. So I will say that my kind of entree back into my own group, because it had been so long, I, again, as I mentioned, I think 3 times now, took a hike in the woods in the snow yesterday, and I did a little video. And I didn't go live because I wasn't exactly sure, I don't know if the signal would work or whatever, but I did a little video that then I popped into the group and basically just said, it's been a long time. I'm not apologizing really for that, but it's been a long time since I posted. And I just was honest about it. I said, this group started for health and wellness. So some of you are in here for that. And then I pivoted the group to business. And I always in my mind was thinking, well, the health and wellness people don't want to know about business. And so do I post about business? Do I post about health and wellness? And I said, my own confusion caused me to stop posting. And that doesn't help me. And it doesn't help my community, whether they're in it for health and wellness or in it for business. Why can't it be both? And ultimately, the people that I want to have at my party and attract would want both. My ultimate dream goal that kind of got squashed in 2020 is to hold retreats for women who want to learn about technology and advance their business while being in a cabin in the woods, going for a hike and having a retreat around that. Obviously that couldn't happen in 2020, but that's where Do Life Be You is going. So I don't think you need to apologize. And I think you just post again. And I put that video in and somebody wrote, I'm really glad you're back. I needed this in my life. And I thought, there it is right there. Like, selfish old me is sitting for months not posting because I don't know what to say. And here I have somebody that needed it. So that, just is inspiring to keep that content going and to keep the group going. And this is a health and wellness person that probably doesn't want my business advice, but maybe she does. Maybe that changes her life. Who knows?
Yeah. So what you're offering is a balance. So many people have a hard time keeping it balanced. So you're going to keep them healthy and help them grow their business. So who doesn't want that? That's perfect. Does anybody else have any other questions? Looking. No. Well, you know what? We're almost 30 minutes into this, and I think it's been a healthy first start. I don't want us to go for too long because we want these to be manageable information tidbits that everyone can attend. So we'll always try to keep them to around 30, 45-minute time frame. I don't know. Have we decided? Are we going to do this weekly, every 2 weeks? I'm totally putting you guys on the spot because I don't think we've discussed it.
Well, I think we said every 2 weeks, and I would suggest we not do it next week because there's something important going on next week.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Christmas.
And the week after is New Year's Day. So we might, yes. So perhaps 2021 will could kick off. The first Friday in 2021 might be a great first time as we figure this out live.
I think my favorite meme going around right now on social media is the one that says something about how we're going to feel when 2020 turns 21. And we maybe need to watch out for what that looks like. So hopefully it'll be a better 2021.
We can all hope. But there's a lot of positives that have come out of 2020. I think all of us have mentioned that over the last few weeks, that as bad as and hard, difficult it has been, we've had a lot of positives, and meeting each other and a lot of the others that we've met has been one of the big ones. What I would like to do for those who are watching, thank you so much for coming out for our very first broadcast. We will always endeavor to be on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. Hard for me to say today. And also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So that's Nest Summits on YouTube. Subscribe there. We'll be bringing out more information as we go. We'll always be as cutting edge as we can be because we're excited to do this with all of you. If you have anything that you'd like us to discuss, give us a heads up. Let's interact with us, engage with us, let us know so that we can be better prepared and we can come out here and address these things for you on our next live. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you all.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Do we chirp now as we fly out of the nest? Thanks for joining us, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.